This is a tutorial on how to use a web tool called InkleWriter. It works in any web browser, so there's no installation or download required. This allows for a quick start for any writing assignment. InkleWriter allows students and teachers to write what is called interactive fiction. Interactive fiction allows students to read small chunks of text and make decisions about what characters do and say, as well as decisions about their motives. The tools help students organize and publish the if-then scenarios they create in an interactive format for any audience. The possibilities of this tool do not end with creative fiction writing, however. It can be used in social studies to explore historical events and what-ifs, historical figures, rationales, and perspectives, and future consequences of the decisions we make today. In science, students can use the tool to demonstrate their understanding of possible lab outcomes under various circumstances. The tool is a useful, exciting one that can be used in any situation where there are multiple possible outcomes. To get to InkleWriter, you'll need to go to www.inklestudios.com/InkleWriter. If you scroll down on this page, you can watch tutorials and view example stories written using InkleWriter. For today's purposes, we will look at the tool from a student's perspective and jump straight to Start Writing. When you click Start Writing, it'll bring you to this screen where you need to select New to create a new story. But you also need to select Sign In and create new account before you can save any of your stories. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new account. While it seems intuitive to begin writing a story immediately, it is important that the students begin by creating this account. You should remind your students to use the PGCPS provided Gmail accounts and passwords they will remember so that they can add to their writing using this tool from home or in future class periods. Once their accounts are created, students are returned to the workspace and can begin drafting their stories. The tools in InkleWriter are simple and mostly intuitive. You can easily add a title, and an author's name, and then start drafting the first chunk of your story. To add options, you simply click Add Options. You can add 2 options. You can continue to add several options. Each option, of course, then needs a consequence. To add consequences for the options, the thens for the if, students click the right arrows next to each of the options, and by clicking these, the students or you are linking something else. So teachers loved it. They started using it every day. You can choose to have your story threads continue and offer more options. They use it every day. So students writing improved. Or you can choose to end a thread. The toolbar on the left-hand side of the screen allows students or you to add text features to your writing, such as bold or italics, or even to add pictures to make the stories a little bit more complex. And then you can view your story in a variety of different ways. If you click on Map, you can see a bubble chart of all of your different sections and the threads that you've continued off of. So if you are leaving one section with a whole bunch of loose ends, or one section is not fully developed, it's very easy to visualize that. You can view your story in a more outline format by clicking Contents. You can go back to just simply writing, or you can view it as a reader would, and it'll look somewhat like a book. Once students are ready to share their work, they simply click Share, and it'll give them a link that they can share with peers via a class blog or by posting on a whiteboard in your classroom. It would be my suggestion to give students a small assignment that is creative and allows them to explore the tool before asking them to create something more detailed and substantial. By doing this, they'll become familiar with InkleWriter and be excited to use it for bigger writing tasks. Before asking the students to use InkleWriter for a larger project or writing task, I think you'll want to provide a rubric to students that tells them what you'd like to see on their final product. You might want to include the number of sections, the number of options per section, a lack of loose ends, so there's no plot holes, incorporation of pictures or allusions to text that you've read in class, a basis in facts if you're social studies or science, to your current unit of study, or a total word count, which is displayed at the bottom of the screen when you're in the read. When you're in the read view, right here at the bottom. Even after sharing a story, students are able to go back in and edit their work later. As long as they've signed in, it'll save their work. And it'll be the same link that you can access later. So if you've given them a rubric and they haven't quite met your standards, but they've already shared the document with you, then they can go back in and edit it. And that is InkleWriter.